Hello all, myself Sambasiva Rao, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Civil Engineering at VNR VJEC. Today the topic of discussion will be GATE 60-day preparation strategy for civil engineers. So I hope all of you might be aware by now what is meant by GATE. So GATE is nothing but Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering, so which is intended to get an admission for pursuing masters in NITs or IITs. So the GATE 2026 is going to be conducted by Indian Institute of Technology, JYOTHI, and the date of the examination is for civil engineers. It is on 14th February 2026, Saturday, from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So irrespective of the branch, the marks weightage for GATE examination will be like this. So you will be having general aptitude for 15 marks, followed by engineering mathematics, somewhere around approximately to 13 marks, and core engineering will be 72 marks. All put together, it will be 100 marks. So you'll be having 100 marks, and the exam will be scheduled for 3 hours. So on average, every mark will be having somewhere around 1.8 minutes. So that is the time availability for each and every question, and you need not to worry about the time for GATE exam. So as you will not be preparing the entire syllabus, so you will be having enough sufficient time to work out each and every questions. And yeah, the strategy for which I have designed is a 60-day strategy. So right from today, which is nothing but 12th of December, and your exam is on 14th February 2026. I've calculated that has come to be 63 days, including today, excluding the day of examination. So, but the 3 days which I have having buffer is scheduled for mock tests. So I did not include over here. So that is 60 days from today. So, and each and every day you have to aim for 1 mark. That is 60 marks, and each and every day you have to study for 4 marks. So you have 60 days time, and your aim is to get 60 marks, and the time you have to suppose to invest is 240 hours. So that will be deduced to like this. So one particular day you have to spend for 4 hours in order to get 1 mark, which is nothing but you will be having 0.25 mark for each and every 1 hour you are investing for this preparation. And this strategy have worked for me. So for preparation of my GATE exam before 10 years. So this strategy can be implemented with any small modifications according to your convenient. And this strategy, which is scheduled for 60 days, is the revision strategy. You don't assume that to be a full preparation. I assume that you already studied all of the subjects at least for once, and this is only a revision strategy that is going to concentrate on that. So this is a rapid revision. And the subjects, among all the subjects what we are having over here, I worked out one parameter, taking the weightage of the marks into consideration. So generally there are other subjects which are also having some higher weightage like geotechnical engineering, but when compared to the amount of the syllabus, I worked out one parameter which is nothing but the marks divided by syllabus. So in order to get 1 mark, what is the amount of syllabus you need to study will be somewhat very less for transportation engineering. In order to get 1 mark, you have to study the concepts, a less amount of concepts only, in particularly transportation engineering. This is not because I belong to transportation engineering, so I've selected transportation engineering as a first subject. No, for any aspirant who is interested in GATE exam, so he will be generally selecting the transportation engineering. The faculty who are also dealing with will be starting with this particular subject, transportation engineering. So coming to this transportation engineering, so the amount of the marks, again these marks are tentative marks, there will be slight variation by 1 or 2 marks. So here we have again we have 240 hours and we are intending to get for 60 marks. So you have to spend for 40 hours in order to get 10 marks for this particularly transportation engineering subject. So if you look into this concepts, so the first one is transportation infrastructure, where you'll be having geometric design, cross-sectional elements, followed by side distances and horizontal and vertical curves. So you have to spend 14 hours for this entire transportation infrastructure, and you have to spend 2 hours for geometric design of railways, and you have to spend for this I have divided to the maximum extent possible, so that you can work like 4 hours. This is what the topic I have to prepare like that. So in order to get 1 mark for each and every 4 hours. So this is all put together. Geometric design will be for 4 hours. You take that cross-section elements for 2 hours, and you prepare side distances for 4 hours. And this highway and vertical curves put together 3 plus 3 6. And you can include some basics on highway development and planning, like 20-year road development plans for 2 hours. So that will be all put together. It will be 14 hours. So you can study for 3 days. For 3 is 12, like followed by 2 hours on the next day. So this is regarding the transportation infrastructure, followed by geometric design of railway tracks. You have to study what is the design speed, what is meant by cant excess, cant efficiency, super elevation, and extra widening. So those are the concepts which you have to study in railway engineering, so which will be for 2 marks. And followed by concept of airport runway length, which is a small formula how to calculate the runway length, followed by the corrections for runway length, like correction for temperature, correction for elevation, correction for gradient. Elevation and gradient is the same thing. So these are the different corrections you have to take into consideration. And followed by highway payments. So this you have to spend for 10 hours. Concentrating on highway materials, what is being used in the pavement construction, particularly in terms of aggregate and bitumen. So you have to look into the tests in detail and aggregate tests. What are the core property of each and every test you are conducting, whether it might be aggregate crushing value for strength, aggregate impact value test for toughness, and aggregate abrasion value for hardness. Like that you have to study in the competitive point of view. It is not like you go through the syllabus in a detailed manner without concentrating much to the point. So you have to be very specific, and this entire preparation should be with pen and paper. It's not like going through the synopsis and assuming that you have studied each and everything. It should be a pen and paper preparation. So highway materials are desirable properties and tests on both aggregates and bitumen, followed by desirable properties of bituminous paving mixtures. So you have to look at the Marshall method of mixed design. You have to look at the various volumetric properties like air voids and voids filled with bitumen and voids in mineral aggregate, and design factors for flexible and rigid payments. So you have to look into the codes of design for flexible payments, IR 37 and IRC 58 for design of rigid payments. And you also have to look into the stresses on rigid payments, like primary stresses, which are nothing but load stresses, followed by secondary stresses because of temperature, which might be daily variation or seasonal variation. So altogether you have to spend somewhere around 10 marks for this particular highway payments, which includes both payment materials and payment design. And the last concept is traffic engineering. So again you have to spend somewhere around 10 hours on this topic, so to get an basic idea on basic fundamental properties of traffic, like volume, speed, and density, along with the derived parameters like distance headway, time headway, travel time. And you also look into, this is nothing but microscopic and macroscopic parameters of traffic flow, fundamental relationship, traffic science, signal design by Webster method, which is very very important. And you also have to look into the rotary intersection design, and along with the moving observer method, various methods of conducting traffic volume, different methods of conducting speed studies and analysis of the speeds. And you have also looked into the definition of highway capacity. So this is all put together. You have to spend some 40 hours in order to get 10 marks. So every day you prepare for 4 hours to get 1 mark in your account. So it doesn't mean that you have to study all together highway engineering for 40 hours, like 10 days, and you go to next other subject. No. So I've divided this entire syllabus which we are going to prepare into different hours. So you can schedule like one transportation engineering subject for 3 hours, followed by 1 hour for mathematics, or 1 hour for general ability, so that accordingly you work it out on your own way, which is very comfortable for you. The reason for which I did not take mathematics at the very first instinct is, so generally most of engineers have a resistance to start with mathematics. So as they are very comfortable and well versed with their core engineering, so we have a tendency to start with your core engineering subjects. So that too according to the marks weightage, and that too I have started here with a parameter of how much you have to study for getting one single mark. Followed by next subject will be environmental engineering, very very easy subject. So you have to spend again somewhere around 40 hours for in order to get 10 marks. So sometimes you may get 1 mark higher than 10 marks also. Again, this is a little bit deviation from the given marks what is been mentioned over here. So you have to spend some 20 hours for this wastewater and wastewater quality and treatment. So you have to look into this thorough basics of water quality standards. You have to look into the physical standards of water, like color, odor, smell, and like the temperature, and also look into the chemical parameters and biological parameters, water quality index, and unit process and operations, along with the water treatment, starting from screening, sedimentation, filtration, disinfection, and water distribution. So that is how you have to look into. You have to spend somewhere around 20 hours on this particular first topic, which is nothing but water and wastewater quality and treatment. Second one followed by sewage water treatment. Initially we have looked at water which is coming from the source to our home, so that is one way. And the other way is nothing but once after you are done with your household activities, you will be ending up with wastewater that has to be transported from your home to the any source. So this is the reverse way. So this all you have to spend again 10 hours in order to get familiar with these concepts. So quantity of domestic wastewater, what is meant by wet weather flow, what is meant by dry weather flow, what are the primary and secondary treatments, effluent discharge, very very important. And these are the different topics which you have to look into. And air pollution, which is again a small topic which you can spend somewhere around 5 hours easily, and you can get idea of this particular concepts. And followed by the last one is again you have to spend some 5 hours for municipal solid waste. So all put together again you have to spend some your valuable time of 40 hours to get 10 marks in this particular subject. And I did not include again the reason for selecting only 4 hours per single day is nothing but I have only targeted the audience to be final year of their BTech, so which they are allowing which they are going along with their regular subjects. So I have included only 4 hours. The people who are studying on a regular basis are for 1 hour length, though 1 hour 1 year long, so they can spend so much of time according to your convenient. So this my preparation strategy is only focused for BTech final year students, so where they can spend at most 4 hours. And if you are comfortable, you can you can compromise on your CGPA by 1 point something like that, and you can spend on more time on this gate preparation such that you'll end up with a better gate rank and you can land in IITs or NITs for pursuing your master degree. The third subject is again geotechnical engineering, which is a vast syllabus and but very very important and having a high weightage regarding to the your gate examination. So you have to spend some 30 hours itself for soil mechanics and 18 hours all put together. You have to spend 48 hours for in order to get 12 marks, or sometimes you may encounter up to 14 marks also. This is one subject which is a predominant importance for civil engineers. So coming to the soil mechanics, three-phase system where you'll be having interaction between soil particles, water and air. So followed by phase relationships, index properties, and like this up to here you can spend somewhere around 18 hours. So 18 hours you have to look from index properties, engineering properties, and all the classifications of the soil and seepage analysis along with uplift pressure, capillarity, seepage. So you have to spend up to 18 hours up to this point. And compaction and consolidation is very very important topic. So up to here you have to spend somewhere around 6 hours in this, and 24 hours. So remaining 6 hours you can spend from here to here, from shear strength to stress paths. So you can spend up to 6 hours over here. So all put together you'll be having 30 marks. Again pen and paper preparation, each and every question solving till the arrival of the answer. And I also recommend you people to get habituated with the Casio that is being provided, virtual calci that is provided over here. At your practice, because that is very very important, or else you'll not be able to get the answers within time. You'll be wasting so much of time if you don't have a practice on the Casio that is provided at the gate exam. Followed by the foundation engineering, subsurface investigations, drill bore holes, sampling, and like this up to here Bishop's method, finite and infinite slopes. You can spend up to 6 hours over here. And followed by stress distribution soil, very very important, particularly Bosnesque theory. And up to this footing and raft foundations, you can spend somewhere around again 6 hours of your time. And till over here negative skin friction or pile foundation design, so you can spend somewhere around again 6 hours. So which put together the 6 days are 18 hours for this particular second half of the geotechnical engineering, which is nothing but foundation engineering. So far we have completed 3 subjects starting from transportation engineering and then environmental engineering, and we are at the edge of geotechnical engineering. So we have scored somewhere around 10 plus 10, 20 plus 12, 32 marks over here, again 1 or 2 marks deviating from this. So the next subject, which is again a little bit very less syllabus and again which is very easy to get marks, is surveying. So where you have to spend some just a little bit of 20 hours to get 5 marks. So very very easy, starting from principles of surveying like part to whole to part, and their errors in different measurements like error in chains, maybe different sources of errors and their adjustments, map and scale, what is scale ratio, what is representation factor, and coordinate systems, again traverse, errors to include interior angles like that. So followed by distance and angular measurements, leveling and trigonometric leveling, very very important. Leveling is an important concept where we have to spend some numerical concepts and calculating the RL values, particularly by height of the instrument method or rise and fall method. and again traversing and triangulation survey, followed by total station and some introduction to horizontal and vertical curves. This introduction to horizontal and vertical curves, we have also looked at highway engineering, where what is meant by a simple curve, what is the form of a best form of a simple curve is nothing but arc of a circle, followed by transition curve. What is meant by transition curve? What are the different forms of the transition curve? And followed by you also look into some parameters like mid ordinate, long chord length, and apex distance. Like that, you have also remember the formula regarding relating between the radius and degree of the curvature. Like that, you have to spend again some 20 hours all put together for the geometric engineering, and small portion of this has also been included, where which is nothing but photogrammetry and remote sensing, flying height, basics of remote sensing, and GIS. So with just 20 hours you will be able to get 5 marks on this particular subject. And next comes to engineering mathematics. I assume that we have completed most of the easy subjects and which are highly scoring subjects for preparation. Now, at any chance, whether you are interested or not interested, by hook or by crook, or by chance or by choice, you have to practice this mathematics subjects, without which you cannot think of qualifying in GATE exam. Forget about getting 60 marks or landing in IIT or NIT. You cannot even think of qualifying in GATE without this engineering mathematics. Maybe you can shuffle your preparation among the subjects and all, but at any point of time you have to include this subject in your preparation. So which is have high predominant importance again, which is having 13 marks weightage. Again, the main reason for including this particular subject is nothing but, even whether whatever specialization you are being pursuing after GATE examination, you somewhere around you will be revolving around the concepts of mathematics. So that is why it has been included in your GATE examination. So this 52 hours have been scheduled like this. So 10 hours for linear algebra. You have to concentrate so much on eigenvalues and eigenvectors and matrix algebra. There are some interesting questions on mathematics like matrices also. There will be given some matrix of order m by n, followed by another matrix of n by p, and you have to calculate what is the different number of multiplications and number of additions to get the n by p matrix. First, you have to look into what is the order of the matrix you will be going to get after multiplication. So you are going to get n by p, so which is nothing but n into p number of elements. For each and every element, again you have to see one element of row has to be multiplied by another element of the another matrix. Like that, you have to see two multiplications. In the middle there will be one addition. So there was one important question and one interesting question of this manner. So more or less you have to maintain the same interest while solving the questions on mathematics. So this is given for 10 hours weightage. And calculus, again you have to look into continuity, differentiability, and maximum minimum, very very important. Taylor series also very very important, followed by some other concepts which are mentioned over here, partial derivative and like that. So again you have to spend 8 hours over here. Ordinary differential equations, first order, second order, degree and power, degree and order, like that. So Euler-Cauchy equations, again you have to spend 8 hours over here. And the partial differential equations, again you have to spend 8 hours. Probability and statistics, Bayes theorem, mean, median, measures of central tendency, random variables, very very important. Discrete and continuous random variables, what is meant by probability mass function, probability distribution function, cumulative distribution function. Like that, you have to spend what are the different types of distributions we are having. You have to spend this, and very very easy subject and interesting subject as well. So you'll have to spend again 8 hours over here. So like this 2 hours over here, 2 hours over here, or just like I've mentioned previously, you can break this subject into 1 hour or 2 hours, and you can club with your preparation with any core engineering and daily basis. So, and last one is numerical methods, which is also very very important. So you are going to get more weightage from this particular concept also. Again you have to spend somewhere around 10 hours for this particular concept. So all put together you have to spend 52 hours in order to get 13 marks. The next one is verbal aptitude. So this is one particular part of GATE syllabus, where you have to where your marks are fixed for 15 marks, and as our preparation, every mark is going to have a preparation of 4 hours. So this will take 60 hours. But I emphasize that here this particular concept, even though if you prepare for 1000 questions also, you might not wonder, even then you get 1001 question from this area. So because this is a infinite syllabus, and you are also familiar from your +2 level of all these concepts and all, so you don't invest much of your valuable time on this. So even though I have given 60 hours, so this is more than sufficient. So you just look into the models. Okay, or else if you keep on wasting time on this, so as I just mentioned here, you'll be getting, even after solving 1000 questions, there will be 1001 question which is going to appear on the exam, and that will be definitely a new question. So you'll be seeing surprises, number of surprises from this area. So if you don't want to get a surprise on this area, that is impossible, whoever it might be. So you just limit your preparation for this particular general aptitude concepts. So again, this alone consuming 60 hours, it means nothing but in our preparation strategy, if you assume this to be you are spending 1 hour every day on everyday basis, you have to spend I mean for entire 60 days you have to spend 1 hour. So that is one way of doing this. Or else if you don't want to look into this as a particular subject, so apart from the daily preparation of 4 hours what you are having, so you invest some extra 1 hour for looking the concepts of this particular general aptitude. Again, this is going to have some 60 hours. So I'm not going to shuffle, or I'm not going to give breakup of how many hours you have to prepare on this particular area. So that is according to your convenience. But I want to mention my experience during my gate examination. So where I'm not very well versed with these areas over here, but luckily among 4 questions which have come on this area, I was getting confused between 2 options. I have eliminated 2 options. I am going by elimination method. So in four of the questions I have eliminated 2 options, and only 2 options are left over in either of all of the 4 questions. So I thought like to take a risk on these 4 questions. So I went to opting for all of the 4 questions. So I thought at least by chance or by luck I'll be getting 1 mark, which might be correct for 1 question. So which will be compensating if all the other 3 questions are wrong. So 1/3 into 3, so 3 by 3, 1 mark. So 1 mark I'll be getting positive and 1 mark I'll be getting negative. But for my bad luck, so all of them have went wrong and I have lost 1/3, 4/3 of the mark. So because of which my rank has been pulled back. So I just wanted to mention you that you don't do experiments of this category, and you don't rely more on this particular area also. So that is one sincere advice, as one sincere suggestion from my side. So these are the different concepts what we have looked so far, which is nothing but we have different subjects like transportation engineering. We have worked for 10 marks for 40 hours, and this we have spent for 40 hours for 10 marks, and like this. So all put together, this will be somewhere around 65 marks. So I have taken some 5 marks extra also, and regarding this, I have taken again 260 hours. So if you are able to spend somewhere around again 5 to 10 hours extra, or 10 to 20 hours extra, so this you will be getting 260 hours and 65 marks. If you want to only constrain to only 60 marks, so again you can prepare accordingly. And the only motive for GATE preparation for you is only nothing but you have to get a better rank. And again, why I have targeted only 60 marks is nothing but with 60 marks GATE marks, you are going to get a decent score of somewhere around 700 to 800 GATE score. Again, this is a normalization score, because the topper who is going to get is also not more than 90 marks. So if assuming the topper have got only 90 marks, so his score will be taken as a standard score or the baseline score. So the score will be 1000 marks, and accordingly everybody's score will be normalized according to his score. So basically 60 marks is going to get a decent score of somewhere around 700 to 750 or 750 to 800, depending upon the several parameters that are going to influence the GATE score. So with that GATE score, you are definitely have the higher chances of landing in NIITs and IITs. You will be getting an opportunity to pursue your master's degree along with some amount of stipend on monthly basis, and which will be there in your resume for lifetime. Having a degree from IIT or NIT, that should be the only motive for you, the people, for those of you who have already applied for GATE exam and you want to take it very seriously. So the reason for which I am selecting these particular subjects and coming at this point of time is nothing but to again make you just keep on the track and make sure that you have a better preparation in order to get better GATE rank. So I don't want to skip the other remaining subjects also. So we have other section 4 subject which are going to include fluid mechanics, hydraulics and hydrology. I just recommend, if you are thoroughly prepared of the whatever the concepts what we have done so far, and you assume that you are very good at the concepts so far, and you can take choice of this particular area also, and you can work out some numericals which is going to have somewhere around again some better marks of 1 to 2 marks. And next one, the other vast syllabus in entire civil engineering is all put together: engineering mechanics, solid mechanics, structural analysis, and construction material and management, concrete structures and steel structures. So this is under again structural point of view. So you are having this much of syllabus in structural engineering. Even if you don't want to skip this entire syllabus, again you can select according to your convenient, like bending moment and shear force in solid mechanics, and flexural and shear stresses, where we are going to get some amount of questions are bending stresses and shear stresses. Followed by, you can concentrate on this project planning and network analysis, which might be an important concept for you. And if you want to get an MTech admission in construction technology and management, so this might be the primary subject, and you also have to get so much of idea on these particular concepts. And again, these two subjects are again design subjects, so you have to select according to your interest and proceed for preparation. So with this, I'll be coming in front of you again 1 week before the exam, so somewhere around 9th or 8th of February, and I'll give emphasize on what are the things you are supposed to do during the examination, and what are the things you are not supposed to do during the examination or before the weekdays of your examination. So I sincerely acknowledge the use of publicly available resources that supported and enhanced the visual clarity of this presentation. Thank you. All the best.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe VNR Digital Learning Resource YouTube channel.